This is Corporal Kenyada Taylor, and she works for the MPD in the homicide unit. Okay. Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay, my first question for you is, what inspired you to take up this profession?
So, I am a graduate of Williamson High School, and so in the 10th grade, I was called to the office with a group of students. And so, naturally thinking, I was like, well, I know I, didn't do anything. I'm not in trouble. So they had us sitting up there. I think it was like 8 of us. And so to sit up there agitated and waiting to know why we were called to the office, the principal tells us, hey, you all have been selected to be in an honors program, what was called the Academy of Public Safety. And so Williamson High School was the only high school in Mobile County that had that program. And basically what it consisted of was a police officer from Mobile Police Department was placed inside Williamson High School. They had a firefighter attached to it, a paramedic. So if you passed that honors class, you had the choice to be a firefighter, a paramedic, or a police officer with a 2-year scholarship. And so that's how I kind of got involved to be entertained by law enforcement at all, was in the 10th grade.
So it accepted you into the police academy?
So we were chosen. It was like 8 of us, and we were called to the office. And I don't know how they came about picking us out of a entire 10th grade class, but it was 8 of us that was chosen, and we was put in the class. We was chosen.
Okay, my next question. What kind of training or education was most valuable to your role?
So the current role that I'm in now, as a homicide detective, there's no the training that you have to have is basically just, of course, you have to go through patrol first, which is basic. When you go through the police academy, you get put in patrol. To be even considered to be a detective at all, not just homicide, you have to have good report writing skills. You have to be able to communicate well with people, all types of people, to be successful, because the job, you got to be able to interact and basically fit in different scenes, different scenarios. The most important thing in being a detective is you have to have good communication skills. And so there's no special education that you have to have. You just have to be a police officer. Normally you have to have 2 years on, and just you have to have good communication skills and be able to write good reports.
Okay. Well, okay, I know you said that there's no like specific education you have to have, but what did you major in, like in college?
So as of right now, I have 3 degrees, and all 3 of them are in criminal justice. I have an associate's degree in criminal justice. I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, and then I have a master's degree also in criminal justice. And so being that they're all in criminal justice, the levels are different, associates, bachelor's, and master's. And so currently right now, I'm enrolled in college getting my doctorate degree in organizational leadership.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, how has your role changed since you started in the field?
You mean like from a patrol officer to a detective? Or
it can be that, or maybe how has it changed since like you first started working as the detective to like now?
So, I can say it's almost 5 years that I've been in. So when I first came to homicide, I kind of knew what to expect as far as what they told me, like, hey, you're going to see dead bodies. You're not going to actually know how you feel about it until, the time comes, the emotion that comes with it. So I'll say when I first went in, you only know what the other detectives tell you that they've experienced. But to truly know how it feels, you have to actually do the job, show up on a scene, encounter victims' families, their loved ones. And so I can say from when I first went into homicide to now being almost 5 years later, I am more compassionate, because I would say I'm the kind of person that I'm tough. I believe in discipline, and so with that, most of our victims are older, and so I can say as far as my mindset, when I first went in as a homicide detective, I was thinking like, people do certain things that cause things to happen. But then when you actually get in this field and you do the job, you realize that people do make bad decisions and they make bad choices. But who are we as individuals, right, to decide whether someone lives or dies? And so when you take someone's life, that is the worst thing that can ever happen to anybody. And so I do find myself being more compassionate when I deal with these cases versus when I first went in with a mindset, not knowing.
I think it went out.
Can you hear me?
I can't. Yes, ma'am.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. So, I would say that mostly that I'm more compassionate and I have a better understanding today than I did when I first went in.
Okay. How do you maintain balance between home life and work life in such a demanding career?
How do I balance home life
and work life?
So what I try to do is because homicide is not easy. It can be very emotional. It can affect you mentally. Everybody is different, and so to balance what I do with my personal life, first and foremost, I always keep God first. I sing in my church choir, so that is something that I love to do. So I do that, and then I do things with my family. Every day, my coworkers that I work with, we go to the gym every day. So I think that it helps to be able to balance this job with your personal life, because if you don't, then if all you have is the job and what you do at work, it can be overwhelming. You won't be able to, per se, say how when you eat, you digest your food, right? Same thing with work. When you work, and work on stressful cases like we do, you have to have some kind of way to unwind, to get your mind on something else. And so I think that working out with my coworkers and friends after work, we can talk about other things and you laugh and play. You have to have something else outside of work, whatever you do, to just get away from that. You know? So that's what I do. Church, working out, singing. I love music. And so those are things that I do to get my mind off of the case when I'm not at work.
Can you share a moment or case that has had a significant impact on you?
Yes. So one of my cases that has had a major impact in 2021, I was called out at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning for a case where it took place on the interstate, basically I-10, between I-10 and Rangeline. And so when we got on scene and started working on the case, we learned very quickly that the victims did not live in Mobile. They were from Mississippi. And so that's one bad thing in our mind, because we're like, wow, sometimes we have problems solving cases and getting witnesses to cooperate right here in Mobile. How in the world am I going to solve this case and the victims are from Mississippi? Nobody's not going to know anything. And, we had to travel over there. And so to not go through it, because it took me 2 years to solve this murder. It was a double murder on the interstate. The victims were from Mississippi. And so I just solved that case last year. And so that case sticks with me because it was a year, and then it got to be a year and a half, and then it was almost 2 years, and I finally got a break in the case from a witness, and the city flew me out to California. I was able to interview witnesses and get other information that allowed me to come back to obtain murder warrants. But it took 2 years, and so that case sticks to me so much because it lets me know that even though in my mind I'm the type of person that I don't give up easy and I don't quit and I'm persistent about, I actually care about the victims even though I don't know them. With this job, it's so serious to me because I believe that every victim deserves justice. And sometimes cases take longer than others, but solving this case in 2 years, it showed me that if you put the work in and you're persistent with proof, the case was solved. Not only was it solved, an arrest was made, and the 2 people were convicted. So it's one thing to, solve a case and make an arrest, but when you get the conviction, when these people think that they're smarter than you, so that case sticks to me the most because it took 2 years, and I just was adamant about getting justice for these 2 victims that did not even live in Mobile.
Wow. What was the case on the first 48? Because I was watching it for a while, and I just really want to know. I couldn't find it.
This particular episode?
Were you on more than one?
Oh, yeah, it's like over 20 episodes that I'm in.
What?
Yeah, so you just got to go on A&E, and when you put in first 48, you have to look for Mobile. So, yeah, there are a lot of episodes on there with me. And if you had a DVD player, I actually could get you some of my discs, but I actually had to go out and buy a DVD player when first 48. They give us a copy of every show that we're in, so I had to go out to Best Buy and buy a DVD player to watch the episodes.
We may have one.
Yeah, so there are, but that one is called Enemies on the Highway, something like that, something about the highway, because it happened on the interstate.
Okay, can you walk me through a typical day at work?
A typical day at work. Every day is different. So say like tomorrow, my day at work, or I'll say today at work. So today started out. I had a recent, not recent, but I'm recovering from my ACL constructive knee surgery, and so I have PT for an hour, and then so when I get dressed from PT. I had court. I had a murder preliminary hearing this morning. And so I leave therapy. I go to court. I stayed at court till about 11. And then I go back to the office. I do paperwork on my cases because every case that we do, we have to type those cases up. So it's more than just showing up on the scene and interviewing people. And so basically everything that, if you get to watch the episode and you see how we show up on the scene, we talk to people, we go to the autopsy. Everything that we do, once you finish it, you have to go and type up everything from beginning to end, just like you did it. And so I went back, I typed up my cases. Then when the end of the day came, we had football at Ladd Stadium. And so, and like now, I'm at home, but I'm on call. So if a homicide happens right now, we'll get called out. We work Monday through Friday on paper. But anything after 5 until the next morning at 8, we're on call 24/7.
Okay. Wow. We're almost done.
It's fine.
Are there any common misconceptions about your job you would like to clarify?
I think that. I don't even know where to start. Like by just law enforcement period being misunderstood by the public. I think that I probably could. I can answer, but is it anything that you have heard that you would want me to answer, like about police? So I think a lot of times, like I'll just use me as a homicide detective. Like people when they're emotional, right? And they have lost a loved one, they think that because we solved this case and it was on the news, I think you might, do you remember like when we used to do perk walks all the time? When the news used to come to headquarters and if we arrested someone, we'll walk them out the back door. Have you ever seen that?
Oh.
Well, they don't do that anymore, right? So I think that people, they think that because one case went one way, that all cases should work like that. And if the homicide detectives don't solve the case quick enough, we get attacked because the case is not solved. But we have to tell families, listen, you can't compare this investigation to that one. Every investigation is different. Sometimes it takes longer. Sometimes there are investigations where the suspect is caught on scene, or not even caught. They just stay there, and it happens like that. Everybody don't stay at the scene of a crime when they commit a crime. So I think that is a big misconception when it comes to the homicide unit. Everybody wants their loved one cases solved right then and there, and it just doesn't work like that.
Okay. What advice would you give to someone who wants to pursue a career in law enforcement?
You kind of laughed a little bit when you asked that question. So I would say to a young person, if they wanted to join law enforcement, I would say law enforcement, period, no matter where you would go in the job, being a police officer, it is not for everybody. Policing is for a special person that basically you care about people is number one, what you should do. And you want to give back to your community by serving your community as a law enforcement officer. I would tell them that if you're looking for a job to get rich, or you're looking for a job that makes a lot of money, this is not the career for you. This is a career that you can go high up in the ranks. You can work in different divisions if you apply yourself, right? And so it is a job that a good police officer, because I wanted to be clear, there's good and bad everything. We know that it's no secret. You got good police officers and you got bad police officers. I'm speaking on behalf of a good police officer, a person that is sincerely passionate about being a law enforcement officer. You have a passion for it. You want to help people, but at the same time, when you're helping people and you have a passion for it and you love this job as such as I do, you have to be tough. You have to make tough decisions, right? But that doesn't mean that you don't have compassion. And so I see it as I consider myself being a tough person, and I expect people to do what they're supposed to do. And even though they may feel like at the time that I'm being mean or I'm doing too much, I see myself as I'm helping you. And so if I help you, if that means locking you up for what you may see as a small crime, I hope that you getting locked up for this small crime will teach you and allow you not to do anything else and to make good of this situation, right? And so that's what I would say. Get in this because you want to serve your community. You want to help people. You want to see after people. You want to do a community service. Get out in the neighborhood. When you see children outside playing, take the time to stop. Get out. Play ball with them at the park. Let them know that, hey, all police officers are not mean. All police officers are not just out to get you and lock you up and put you in jail. I want to talk to you. How your day been? You know what I'm saying? See what you got going on. What school do you go to? I'm going to stop by and check on you. That's what I would say to someone that would want to be a police officer. Don't get in it for the money because you're not going to get rich. It doesn't pay a lot. But get in it because you love people and you want to help.
Okay. That was good advice. I think that's it.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm not.
You're welcome.
Well, I wasn't hanging up on you. I just had to stop the recording.
Okay.
Recording stopped.
That was good.